This is a programme about how one teacher tackles some of the more complex and controversial subjects in Key Stage 3 RE. Catherine Kane has devised a 6-lesson series on the concept of sacrifice in different religions called Bloody RE. Her aim is to develop pupils' knowledge of religious stories and traditions, but also to allow them to learn from religion through personal reflection. To get the pupils to explore the concept of sacrifice, she uses a range of classroom techniques.
Teachers of religious education need to answer for themselves the question, what am I going to do with the awkward, shocking stories that religions contain? Well, of course, pupils can learn about those stories, and in that they'll get some understanding of the religions that they're studying. But they can also learn from these stories. So, for instance, stories of sacrifice that are bloody stories in some ways can be used to help pupils explore and articulate insights into their own commitments. So the link from sacrifice to commitment is working. Now, that's challenging RE. It's not easy to do that.
Okay, so let's do question. Why do mosquitoes and vampires find your blood so tasty?
Well, I wouldn't actually find blood
Tasty, would I?
The Bloody RE series is structured over 6 hours of lessons, and we look at the concept of sacrifice across 3 different religions. We start off by introducing why blood is so important, because all religions mention blood. We actually look at the National Blood Transfusion website. It's got lots of blobbing and blood and fascinating facts, all the sort of like gory things that children are interested in.
It's full of sugars and other molecules for your food, which is why vampires and mosquitoes find it so tasty.
That's why. So, our answer to question 3, why do...
I set them a task where they have to find out certain bits of information from the website. You know, how much iron is in your body, how much magnesium is in your body, and all of those sorts of things. And we look at it in a fun way by doing a little quiz. Okay, the next one. The body contains enough phosphorus, that's the smelly bit at the top of a match, to make how many matches? Are we going to go for 3 boxes, 1,000 matches, or 2,200 matches? What do you reckon then?
B.
B. It's not a B, no. Go on then, Alex.
C.
It is C, 2,200 matches. The average body contains enough fat to make 20 bars of soap, 10 bars of soap, or 7 bars of soap.
C?
C, yes, 7 bars of soap. You have enough fat in your body to make 7 bars of soap. Did you know that? Now, if you think, if we went to the shops, if we went up into Croydon and we went to the hardware shop and we bought all of these things, I wonder how much it would come to. Thinking, how much does a box of matches cost? How much, roughly?
£1.
A pound, yeah, maybe.
50p.
50p. Let's go for £1. And if we're looking at 2,200 matches, that would be about a £5 worth of matches. Okay. And then we do a rough costing, and we come out sort of like somewhere between £25–30. So, are you worth then just £25? And I think that always really surprises children, because they think, oh, I'm worth more than £20, you know, and it sort of like it makes them think about what their worth is. Okay, so how much would your mum be willing to sell you for then?
She wouldn't.
She wouldn't. Under any circumstances?
No.
No. Why not?
Because she brought us up and loves us.
You know that you are priceless, especially to those people that love you. Your life is worth far more than £25, and we're going to be looking at what it would take for someone to actually sacrifice their life when their life is so precious. Like you've said, it's absolutely priceless.
One issue for secondary religious education teachers is that pupils' prior experience of the subject is enormously varied, and their experience of religion at home is very varied as well. So what needs to happen there is an accurate diagnosis by the teacher of where each pupil is at, so that next steps can be planned and their learning can progress.
Can anyone tell me what is the difference between the words sacrifice and martyr. Who can tell me what's the difference? Raquela.
A martyr is somebody that dies for their religion, and a sacrifice is like giving up something that you care about a lot.
Okay, excellent. Well, today we're going to be looking at a story about two people, Ibrahim and Ismail. It's a Muslim story, and it's about somebody, it's a story of sacrifice. Now, maybe you haven't done much Islam at your previous school, but you might know the story of Abraham and Isaac. Our Year 7 pupils come to us from a wide range of primary schools, and so it's really good to actually have a look at a wide variety of religions, so that hopefully there are aspects that children can relate to because they think, oh yes, I did that. So I wonder, can you think of any facts that you might already know about the story of Abraham and Isaac?
God wanted to test Abraham to see how much he trusted him, so he told him to sacrifice Isaac.
Yeah, so it was a test of faith, wasn't it, for Abraham?
You know, when he got on top of the hill, God said stop because I know you were going to do it, and he didn't actually have to do it.
That's right, so it was a case of Abraham took Isaac up the mountain and he didn't actually kill him, he just got at the final moment, God said stop. Don't kill him. Now we're going to look at it from the Muslim point of view. There's two stories that are slightly different in the two traditions, but I really wanted them to get to the heart of the story, which was about the personal sacrifice of both those two central characters. Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you to think about. What was Ibrahim willing to sacrifice? What was Ishmael willing to sacrifice? And who was sacrificing the most? I'm going to write those questions up on the board, and then I want you to discuss with the person that you're sitting next to what you think are the answers to those three questions. Okay?
Yeah. Then who was sacrificing the most?
The father.
No, because God said that he will be the descendant. He will have loads of descendants.
Oh,
So
the son.
it might be the son.
At each stage of the lesson, I want the children to be fully involved, and using pair work and being able to discuss with a partner first before feeding back to the teacher is really important, because it gives the children an opportunity to think about their own point of view.
I think he's more sacrificed because he's letting himself die.
Abraham's
Good point, but also but Ishmael has also got is the one.
Children have some idea of sort of like sacrifice and doing things for other people that's sort of like ingrained in them from an early age. But RE lessons give children the opportunity to really think about these issues in great detail. Really, like giving your life is the ultimate.
They were both sacrificing loads, weren't they?
One was sacrificing his life.
One sacrificing his descendants.
Who was sacrificing the most?
I never do that.
His life.
I'd be too scared.
Quite scary. I wouldn't like to be cut on the throat with my eyes shut.
Me neither.
That would be terrible.
Okay, put your hand up then if you thought that Ibrahim was going to be sacrificing the most. So that's the dad. Why do you think that?
I think he was sacrificing the most because this was his only son and he was having to kill him.
Okay, so it was his only son and he was having to kill him, a very difficult thing to do. Okay, Michaela?
I think Abraham was willing to sacrifice the most because his wife would have been a bit angry with him because their only son, they waited a long time to get a son.
Okay, so there was more people involved than just the two of them. Okay. So it gives everybody an opportunity to feed back and to have an opinion about it, and so that I feel really draws the children into the lesson and into really thinking, I'm thinking about this. I want to be part of this lesson.
How to match work to pupils' needs is always an issue for the RE teacher. Well, by good questioning, by using conceptually clarifying strategies, by drawing pupils one by one and in groups into the learning, the pupils who start at level 2 retelling stories can move on to making links with their own experience, can move on from there to interpreting materials for themselves, articulating their own insights into religious questions. That's up at level 5 and 6.
You need to listen really carefully for this next thing that we're going to do, because we're going to have to move the tables. Then we're going to have one circle in the middle of boys all facing outwards, and then we're going to have a circle of girls around the boys facing the boys. So you need to very carefully put your pencil bags and books inside your books first of all. Classroom management is far easier if you just keep children sat in their desks in rows and everything. And so by doing dramas and moving circles, you are actually risking the whole lesson going into a total classroom management disaster.
You move your table over by the radiator.
But I think if the children are actively engaged, they actually want to be involved and they want it to go well, and so they are willing to cooperate with the management of things.
Boys, you need to sit on the chairs, and then girls, you need a chair facing the boys. Okay, right, we're to give each pair a question to discuss. You are going to have 1 minute to discuss that question with your partner, okay? And then after 1 minute is up, we're going to move around and I will tell you which way to move so that you then get to discuss a different question with a different partner. So you'll get to talk to lots of different people in your class, okay?
By using the moving circles, it means that students get a chance to move around, which gives them more oxygen to think, and it also means that they get an opportunity to discuss different issues with different members of the class that they wouldn't necessarily talk to in other situations or get an opportunity to talk to in classroom situations.
Okay, you've got 1 minute to discuss your question, starting now.
Do you think that Abraham knew that Allah was just testing him? Why?
I think he was testing him.
During the lesson, of course, the main story was Ibrahim and Ishmael, and so we're sort of like learning about the religion, so we're learning about the religious story.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move around, okay? So you're going to have a different question. So you need to, if you're a boy, put your left hand up. Which one's your left hand? Does everyone know which their left hand is? You are going to move leftwise 1 space.
If RE is to be relevant to the students, that we learn from religion as well. And so within the moving circles, there were a mixture of questions about the story and questions that were from the story.
Can you sacrifice something that is not yours? In what way did Ishmael's life belong to Abraham? He was his son.
With the moving circles, it means that you get as well different children of different abilities talking to each other, and that's really good for both those of low ability and those of higher ability.
Wait, leave the question where it is and move on.
For those that are kinesthetic learners, they're moving and talking at the same time, so that's really good for them. And the fact that it's quite snappy, the fact that they have to move around quite quickly, means that there's not any time for naughtiness or whatever. Everybody's voice gets heard by somebody during the lesson, and everybody gets a chance to express their feelings.
Doesn't want to get killed and sacrifice somebody their life.
In RE, we really discuss what it means to be human and major issues of life and death. And sort of like by the time you get to GCSE level, we're talking about things like euthanasia and abortion and issues that might affect the children in the class at some point in their lives. In Year 7 with the bloody RE, it's highly unlikely that they're ever going to meet somebody who will sacrifice themselves. So in some ways you're a little bit distanced, but you're still talking about those really meaty issues of life and death.
So you will sacrifice your life for your mum? Yes, so I give an animal because they would still have...
It made it relevant to them that they were thinking about themselves and about how they would react in a situation where they would have to give up something for somebody else.
You need to get out your planners now because I'm going to give you your homework. So you should have your planner just in your pocket.
I love teaching RE. I think it's the best subject in the whole school curriculum. I enjoy engaging with the children and making the lessons interesting. We only see the students for 1 hour a week, and so that 1 hour has to really count. And so you've got to make sure that they're interested, that they're really fired up for their next RE lesson.
Well done to all of you. Okay, off you go then. Thank you.